nation who are being shot and killed on a daily basis. Now, before I just go on a rant about the many injustices taking
We were very gratified that the Supreme Court heard the arguments in today's case. This is a very important case. My clients have been litigating this case for over 5 years.
California, in Washington State, in New Jersey, passing those packages of...
The reason they filed this lawsuit 5 years ago was to try to vindicate their rights under the Second Amendment. Up until the point that the Supreme Court granted certiorari in this case, the city of New York had resisted their efforts to vindicate their rights at every turn, and only when the Supreme Court granted the certiorari petition in this case did the city start to take efforts to try to recognize their rights. The court asked a lot of questions today about those continuing efforts by the city to try to make this case go away, but they also asked very important questions about the merits that made clear that this is part and parcel of the kind of regulations that have no basis in text, history, or tradition and should not be upheld consistent with the Second Amendment. So we're very, very hopeful that the court will decide this case on the merits and in favor of the petitioners. But in all event, we're very gratified that we had our day in court to vindicate these important constitutional rights.
From a CNN town hall where he had a conversation with President Obama. And you probably...
New York City and New York State actually gave them everything that they had asked for before this argument. That was made very plain in this argument today. The case is moot. It is a case that should not have gone forward to this point. But in any event, we're looking forward to the judgment of the court. We feel that we had a very strong and powerful presence in the hearing today.
There were tough questions on both sides. We still hope and expect that the court will dismiss this case as moot because the plaintiffs have gotten all the relief that they're seeking. But it was also very clear today what's actually at stake in this case. Counsel for the state affiliate of the NRA got up there and asked the court to declare that the Second Amendment protects a right to carry firearms and also to adopt a restrictive and extreme test for deciding Second Amendment cases that would look only to history and tradition and not to public safety concerns. And so that's why we're here today, keeping a close eye on this case to make sure that that we assert our right to be safe and show that the Second Amendment is perfectly consistent with gun safety laws like the sort that Americans overwhelmingly have been demanding.
Every month, every year, year in and year out.
Ultimately, we want the court to uphold reasonable interpretations that ensure that things like background checks, extreme risk laws that have now been acted in 17 states, and the District of Columbia, and indeed an assault weapons ban can be upheld. That is our objective, and certainly we are working in Congress and in the courts to make that happen.
From the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence.